This, yes.
Andrew.
But I also understand where
prepare.
I know.
Prepare for the halving. The halving is coming.
I feel like I'm on the leftovers.
What is the? And I love Bitcoin. I'm kidding around about it. I think it's great.
Here they are. They're talking about preparing for the halving. The halving's coming next year. Are you preparing? Have you been preparing? Have you been stacking sats this whole bear market? We're looking at a lot of charts. We're getting some questions. People asking us, hey, is it a good time to buy altcoins? We'll take a deep dive into the charts on this video, so make sure you don't miss out. And with that, what's happening, crypto crew? Sean's coming back at you, another cryptocurrency video. Getting straight into it, taking a look at the Bitcoin dominance. This is what we're looking at. Bitcoin dominance at the current time this recording is coming in at 54.39. And why are we looking at this? And we've talked about this in previous videos because the downtrend has broken out and looks extremely bullish. And if you look here in the RSI below, you put in a high, that's right here, we cooled off. Then we put in a higher high, then we cooled off, then we put in a higher high. Typically, when we see a divergence in this price action, meaning when we come down and put in a higher low, and then the price then spikes up, we could be coming back up towards this level up here. We talked about this. So when the Bitcoin dominance runs up, this is not the time you want to be diversified into altcoins. The Bitcoin dominance is on a run. You want to look at your overall portfolio in Bitcoin terms, not dollar terms. Now, when Bitcoin's running up, some altcoins will blast off, but the entire alt market won't run. Right here, fall off a cliff here. This was a major alt season, alt rally. So if this does stair step its way up and we do come up and Bitcoin dominance tops out around 57 to 60 range, and then we fall off a cliff to come back down to this 40 range, this is when that ultimate alt rally is going to be. You will see a couple 50, 100, 150% moves from some altcoins, but those are going to be few and far between. Those are going to be hard to pick. You have to use Ethereum as the indicator. Ethereum is sort of like the leading alt indicator. And we showed you in previous videos way back here, if you look at these previous peaks, we hit our head, hit our head, hit our head, hit our head, fell down, hit our head, and Ethereum has just been slowly bleeding and could not get over this level here. And guess what happens? You run out of steam. And also looking at this 20 and 200 moving average, the blue line and orange line, the orange line crosses the 200, that's extremely bullish. And guess what happens? When they get far apart like they were right here, they want to come back together. And look what's happening. They're coming back together. So there's going to be some more downwards price action to Ethereum. Now, how low will Ethereum go? Can Ethereum break this upwards downtrend? It definitely can. Now, remember, it's the same thing, inversely correlated. This could come up, relieve up, could put in a lower low and a lower low. And then once Ethereum sort of stair steps its way out of here and starts to put higher highs in, that's when this trend will change. But this could fall off a cliff and could come all the way down to lower levels, the 2 to 3% range. So this could be a major fall against Bitcoin. This doesn't mean the Ethereum price is going to fall so far. Benjamin Cohen has been saying this as well. He said, in the end, even the giants will fall. And look here, he's saying something very similar because Ethereum has just been bleeding against Bitcoin. This is the leading alt indicator. Keep this in mind. Look at BNB, Bitcoin comparative. Look what happened. The 220 moving averages were stretched far apart here. They need to come back down and kiss. Look what happens when that happens. The price falls down off a cliff. Right here, the RSI topped out. You cooled off. This was the first peak. And then we kept putting in, then we traded sideways for a little bit, and then we put in a higher low. Here's the high up here. We put in a higher low, but the price, note the price, with the BNB Bitcoin comparative, we put in a high here, then a higher high. So you see the price went up, but the RSI went down. This is a divergence, meaning the trend is changing. And that's why we've seen this fall off a cliff. And right now, it's going to be the same thing. This came down, put a low, come down, put a lower low, could come down, put a lower low, and then it could even put a lower low in, but the RSI puts a higher low in. So this could continue to do something like this until the RSI puts a higher low in, then it trades sideways. So there's a lot of bleeding down. No one knows the bottom, but right now is the time you want to be in this particular altcoin. These charts look very bearish. Dion Leclerc's commenting on this as well. No one could have seen this coming. Well, not necessarily, because if you look at this chart, you see this is very overextended. Just looking at this divergence with RSI, you can see that this had to come down and cool off, and there could be some more downwards price action. One Bitcoin comparative that is very intriguing and people should pay attention to. This is not financial advice, but this is one you look at because this one looks a lot different. And the reason is because you see the orange line, the 20, has been below the 200. The 200's up here, and it was extremely far apart, way back here. And look what's happened. They've just been converging back together with the price action putting in a low, a lower high, and a lower high. So the price action is just stair-stepping its way up. And look what's happening. This 20 and 200 are getting ready to intersect. Zooming into the price action, they haven't quite did it yet. They're sort of playing with your emotions, and the 200 sort of did a fake out like it was about to cross. This actually was a big fake out right here, but look what happened. It's not ready yet. But zooming out on the price action, you see this is a big macro wedge that XRP Bitcoin comparative is in. This apex area right here, where these lines intersect, XRP broke out to the upside, which is extremely bullish. Right here, we had this breakout, but look what happened. This could be an entire fake out. And if we don't hold this level here and we have a couple closes below this support line, like we did here, if we don't get back above it, we could double bottom out how we did before, but it could get very bearish for XRP Bitcoin comparative as well. But this trend still is intriguing because the biggest difference is that in every other chart, if you look at the Ethereum chart and also the BNB chart, you see the 20 moving averages are above the 200 right there, and also right here, coming back down, meaning that the price is going to melt. But in this chart, it's below. The orange line's below. So when this orange line crosses up above it, that means that price action should start to go to the upside. So this is something to pay attention to. This is what the Bitcoin bros see in the charts right now. Is it a good time to buy alts? Looking at Bitcoin over the past week, 22% up. See, Ethereum's up, but it hasn't outperformed. What altcoins have outperformed? Solana is one. That's an outlier. Solana has made a bigger play against Bitcoin. But 22%, Chainlink's another one that's went up. Polygon, that's a little bit above Bitcoin. But as you see, across the board, every altcoin has not went up against Bitcoin. There's a few, but a good majority have not outpaced Bitcoin. But the reason we're seeing these moves is because that Bitcoin did go up, is getting majorly bullish to the upside. You're never going to time the exact top of the dominance. Technicals can show you one thing, can do something totally different. But either way you cut the cloth, with the Bitcoin becoming more scarce next year, and the ETF, this could have a spike up, but the ultimate alt rally is going to happen in the bull run. The bull run's not here yet, but we are in bullish territory just because we're stair-stepping our way up. Now, the Bitcoin price action is going to put in a new all-time high before the halving. That's never happened over Bitcoin's history. Bitcoin bros don't think that's going to happen. As far as the Bitcoin price goes, right now we're a little bit below 35,000. Are we going to see a major run up to new highs before the year's out, before the next halving? We don't prescribe to that. Our technical target is this level right here, around the $48,000 to $50,000 range before we cool off. We could come back down to the mid-30s where we are right now into the halving. So we could go into the halving a little bit bearish. After the halving, you know what time it is. Within 6 months after the halving, we're testing new highs and off to new all-time highs in that $100,000 threshold. So keep that in mind. Now, none of this is financial advice. It's just our take. This is what we see in the charts. Right now is the best time to buy altcoins. You can diversify. It's never bad to have a diversified portfolio. You can be heavily weighted into Bitcoin, but you have to base it off your own risk tolerance. Do you want to be 50% in Bitcoin, 60, 70, 80, 90% in Bitcoin? That other 10%, 20, 30, 40, 50%, you can play with alts. But how this market works is the Bitcoin dominance. Every time the dominance falls off a cliff, this is a massive alt rally. The next time this falls off a cliff could be here, it could be up here. Either way, this will be a massive alt rally, or this will be a massive alt rally whenever that comes. But you have to be patient. You just have to wait. Right here was another massive alt rally. This was way back in 2017. Almost everything blasted off against Bitcoin. So basically, the thought is if you diversify into the alt market to make more Bitcoin value by the time this falls off the cliff. So keep this in mind. The time frame between these two, the date range we seen this fall off the cliff to here was about 1,400 days, 200 bars. So if we just pull this out another 1,400 days, where is that going to be for the party to really start? We're looking sometime towards the end of 2024. This is Q4 of 2024. So could Bitcoin just be stair-stepping its way up until then have that fall down? Well, if history is any indication, things don't have to rhyme exactly, but right now, we don't think it's the best time to be heavily weighted into alts. Now, as we showed you, some things can outperform Bitcoin over the past week, but across the board, this is the Bitcoin bull rally right now. Altcoins will have their time. Right now is not that time. So you have to ask yourself, once again, how heavily weighted do you want to be in Bitcoin and alts? There's nothing wrong with diversifying right now because, as you see here, some of these coins can outperform Bitcoin, but across the board, there's a lot that haven't. What if you put it into Leo? It's only 7% up. So you will have lost Bitcoin value. Once again, Stellar XLM, only 10%. You have lost Bitcoin value. Uniswap, 6.5, 6.7. You have lost Bitcoin value. These are moving up and the market looks very green, but this is something that you need to be paying close attention to. The time the entire market is green is during the bull run, and we're not in that euphoric phase and we're not in that big run up yet. These time frames, this is from March until December of 17. That's a 9-month window. This is from January to April of 21. This is a 4-month window. So the windows for opportunity are there, but you have to watch the charts and see what happens and be paying attention. And Bitcoin Bros will tell you when we think it's a good time. Once again, we're not financial advisors. Everybody has to make their own decisions in the market. This is just how the Bitcoin Bros are analyzing the current setups. And with that, I'm Sean with the Bitcoin Bros. If you guys like this content, go ahead and smash the like button. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and show us some love. We appreciate the support. With that, that's all I have for you today, and I'm out.